Right, I got the finger from Percy. It's Wednesday night. It's podcast night. We've got a great returning guest. Jackson Simmons is here again. And Jackson, it has been a while since we've had you on here. You were actually one of our first guests. You weren't our first, but you were like in the top five guests that we had. And we did Johnny Cash, and you came and we got some tape of you doing some music for the Percy and Face sessions on YouTube, and those were great, and those were very popular, and we're glad you're back tonight. It's been way too long, and we played some music in the what we call the Losers Lounge. That's a Ringo Starr song. I like to call it the parlor, but
I just want to know where these tapes are you speak of.
they're on YouTube. Have no secret tape. But that's raise a red flag. So we taped some tracks. I got some tapes. They're big, beautiful tapes. Does anybody have? Does anybody have tapes? Man. Oh, yeah. So, how fun. Nice there.
VHS tapes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wait till we started to drop that on me. I'll get your tape now.
Rookie here as always on picks. He's going to join in with us. That should be fun. We are doing Johnny Cash American recordings. So we'll get into why there are Johnny Cash American recordings as we go along with this podcast. But I believe there were a total of six American recordings, and that's Johnny Cash produced by Rick Rubin. And we'll get into the reasons and the whys and whatnots of that as we go along tonight. The music is absolutely beautiful. And when we're done with this podcast, make sure you listen to this playlist. It will bring you emotion, joy, every feeling possible because Johnny can make you feel what he's feeling. And he was older, and not in the greatest of health during these sessions. And you can hear it in almost every note. Um, Literally when he got to the fifth and sixth American recording. So with that being said, Jackson, we're glad you're back. It's been way too long, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're all grown up now. You got a family. You're married. You got one on the way. You're pursuing your career, and hope you hope you keep playing music because you are truly a talent. You're a gift, and it just comes so naturally to you. So
Thank you.
we're glad you're here back here with us again.
You have to learn how to play Loretta Lynn's "One's on the Way."
I don't know if you good voice. I don't know if you.
Try and get up there.
It's pretty. Yeah, man. We might need to use this riding crop. All right. So let's thank our sponsors, Spice and Smokehouse Crackers. We got Jackson loaded up with the spicy and the garlic parm to take home. They do a great job for us, and they're so very supportive. Brindley's Family Pharmacy, and say it every week. If you're using a corporate pharmacy, you're missing out. Use a local pharmacy; you'll get a lot more care, and they actually, will try to help you out. And last but not least, Busted Oak Bourbon Society, where Percy and I are in the trenches on Saturday afternoons. And come see us. Come see us. We're going to play this playlist there Saturday, and you will not regret listening to what he's going to put together. So, with that being said, if I missed anything, you going to keep me on track tonight?
Yes.
We screwed it up. We screw it up every week, but that's part of the fun. So, with that being said, Johnny Cash, American Recordings, honorable mentions. Percy,
Before I get to my first honorable mention,
he does this every week.
I love it. Fun. In 1969, did you know John R. outsold the Beatles?
Yes, he was the top recording artist in the world.
And
1960.
Fast forward 20, 30 years, and your label drops you.
Yeah, two labels dropped.
Yeah.
Columbia and Mercury.
I mean, you built that. Excuse me. You built that fucking Columbia building in Nashville.
Yeah, he did.
And then they tell you to hit the road.
Yeah.
That's
part of this story with American recording.
I mean, that tells you about the music business.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very cutthroat. Yeah.
My first honorable mention is a cover of an old folk song, and having recently watched the Bob Dylan movie,
Good job.
Pete Seeger was heavily into this movie. He was big friends with Bob.
Right.
And Johnny recorded Last Night I Had the Strangest Dream, which, if you're, and we don't get into politics, this was kind of a, but to me, this song is just a good thought that all the countries come together and agree to end war.
Well, we need that right now.
And that you have to think that's probably not going to happen, but it's a nice thought to have.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Wait, it's off.
My next honorable mention, and when Johnny starts singing this, it's live and the crowd goes crazy, and it's The Man Who Couldn't Cry.
Great tune.
And there's a song that says he lost his arm in the war. He was laughed at by a whore. And basically, he couldn't cry towards the end of his life. And he cried every time it rained, and he cried for 40 days. And that's why I love Johnny's tongue-in-cheek humor. And on that 41st day, he died of dehydration.
He's got a tear.
Johnny had that in so many of his songs that just kind of tongue-in-cheek.
Absolutely.
And my last honorable mention is a song that was released on an album he recorded in, I think, 1980. And it was just recently released 2-3 years ago. But then he re-recorded it on the American recordings, and it's "I Came to Believe." And basically, it's really a spiritual song. Mm-hmm. And Johnny says, "I came to believe in a power that's higher than I." You know, basically, when he figured out he needed somebody to get by, and we all need somebody. It's like Poison said, we need something to believe in.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and Johnny was that beacon, and he lived a life that was pretty hard.
And a lot of these songs from these American recordings were Johnny's songs that he redid.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They weren't just other people's songs.
Right. There were some that Johnny did and he redid, and some that Rick Rubin said he wrote for American recordings, but overwhelmingly, I think the majority were all covers, and the artists that he covered were very gracious to wanting him to cover their music because they knew that was like a gift.
Except for one person, he didn't want it to. You can kind of leave that alone in a minute, but he didn't want it to start with.
Yeah. Okay, until he got those royalty checks.
Well, no, until he heard, and it's not on my list, but it'll be on somebody's. Until he heard Johnny doing the song.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking
about. Then he knew it wasn't his song anymore.
It'd be on somebody's list. Not it'll still be mentioned.
Those are my honorable mentions.
Those are great. All right, Jackson, what are your honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. All right. Let's see here. First, we've got this one is one that I really liked. I enjoyed the original. It's a cover. This is one of the few songs I think Johnny did. I think a lot of the stuff on the American recordings is and just that voice he's got and how much feeling he's singing with. It'll stick with you after you turn off the radio, right, for sure. And this is one of the few songs. This is no slight to Johnny. I think the original might be more eerie than the way he did it.
Okay.
For me, it's "We'll Meet Again."
Oh yeah.
Johnny's version is more genuinely less sarcastic than the original.
It is because he was at that point in his life.
He's genuinely.
He's talking about June.
Yeah, we'll meet again.
Because June had already passed when he did.
But the original, I think it was Vera Fuller. Let me look it and see. For sure. I had a note here.
I'm not sure if it was. It should have been
Vera Lynn. Vera Lynn, excuse me. Vera Lynn.
Yeah.
That is one of the eeriest songs.
Yeah.
If you listen to it, especially in that old style. Very, very, very eerie. But Johnny does it, and it, much like he did with the other stuff where he brought it down and made it more haunting, he lifted that one up. It's just the power of Johnny's voice and the way he was able to change the meaning of the song without changing the words.
Absolutely. All right. What you got next?
My next one is "Won't Back Down,"
which you played for us in the lobby.
Love great that song. Tremendous song.
My little granddaughter May loves that song.
Yes, it's great. And one thing that Percy mentioned earlier was just talking about how he believed it more when Johnny sang it. It's just
Yeah, absolutely.
Johnny sang it in a way that was a little, I don't want to say tougher, but kind of.
Well, he could be.
Yeah, it genuinely he
Yeah.
believed it. And I feel like he definitely would have walked that walk.
Yeah.
He grew up tough. He lived really hard. So there's no doubt when you listen to that song that
you feel
you're
like,
listening to a guy that probably won't back down.
Yeah, he would not.
And I'll say this about that song too. This is kind of this may be a wild take. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this version. Sam Elliott does a version of it. It's the best one.
Sam Elliott?
Better than Johnny and Tom.
The Beat People.
I'm being serious, and that sounds crazy. Sam Elliott's version is my favorite version of that song. It's in a kids movie, and it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard.
I'll definitely have to check that out. Sam Elliott.
Yep.
I won't back down.
It's not where he's singing. He's singing.
It's like William Shatner.
It's the same in this animated kids movie from when I was younger. It's called Back at the Barnyard.
Okay.
And do you want me to spoil it for you or not? I don't know if we got on that, but anyways, it's a really emotional scene, and he's singing, and first time I saw it as a child, it made me cry. I wept. It's beautiful. But I love that song, and I love when Johnny did it, and listening to any version of that song is good, but I love Johnny Cash, and I love the song, so it's just perfect for me.
Yeah, and on that album, Tom Petty was playing bass. And then they got Mike to come in to play guitar, and they said next thing you know it, then all the Heartbreakers were there, and they did.
Did Tom sing harmonies with him?
He did. Tom did sing harmony on that too. So it's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
You got Johnny Cash, Tom Petty, and the Heartbreakers together. I mean, that's the versatility of Johnny Cash, and anything he did, he made his own for sure. But I think we'll mention that several times tonight. Good honorable mentions there, Jackson. What you got, Wilkie?
My first honorable mention is from American 2, Unchained, and it's Rusty Cage.
Oh boy,
Soundgarden cover.
That's an honorable mention.
It is.
I'm gonna tell you a story about that because Johnny couldn't hear that song. Rick Rubin, he was putting together demo.
Johnny didn't want the song.
He didn't, and
Rick said it about 3 times.
He sent to him 3 times on a CD that had 25 on there, and this was always the first one. And he rejected it until he said Rick actually laid down sort of a take on what he thought it should listen.
Rick said he sang on the demo that he sent to John, and when he finally agreed to do it.
And then it went off the charts.
That was one I forgot to mention, Wilkie, but that was my third honorable mention, and Cornell is one of my favorite vocalists of all time. As far as rock frontmen go, he's number 1 for me, and that's maybe a crazy take as well.
Right.
Cornell's got one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard.
Oh, no shit, right.
And he was the frontman for multiple successful bands, which was so unique.
Soundgarden, Audio Slave, Temple of the Dogs.
Yes.
It's just all there. Yeah, but then Johnny reworked that song, and Rick talks about how they tried to distort it and did all this in the studio, and it's totally a different song than Soundgarden's version. And I'm sorry, I love Chris Cornell too, but Johnny's version is better.
Yes,
it is absolutely badass. It makes you want to just stand up for yourself.
And that's a tough guy to beat because you're talking about one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, good choice.
Then another one I got from American 5 is a cover of one of my favorite Gordon Lightfoot songs. It's You Could Read My Mind.
He does. He
does
better than Gordon on that.
Does.
Yeah, outstanding.
And then my last honorable mention is from American 3, and it's off the song was Wayfaring Stranger.
That's a good one too. All right.
I always like that song.
We're kicking off on the right foot here. My first honorable mention, Johnny sped this one up. And I've tried to sing along with this song. It's no damn way. I've been everywhere. The guy's been to Opelika, Opelika, man, I know that place. Been there. But, man, Jones really proved his skills because who did the original?
That was Hank Snow.
Yeah, Hank Snow did the original.
I showed this to you. There's I hate to use the word supergroup, but there was few musicians that formed a band, and they did a hard rock version of this, and it was like the Hollywood or L.A. Rats or something, and they did like a hard rock version of I've Been Everywhere.
It's crazy. It's a great song. Right. The next honorable mention is When the Man Comes Around. So, I mean, I battled with that. That was almost number one for me, but I kept going through it, kept going through it, and this has been such a hard list.
We
But
talked about that the other day, with Eat Sip and What's Up.
yeah, what's up? Big sip and eat up. You're like, take a sip and what's up? We don't, sip and a sup. What's up? Sup's up. Right? My last honorable mention, and it's just a great story song. The imagery that is created that he does, because he can tell a story, and it's sad, and it's I hung my head, and it's just terribly tragic, sad song, but you can't help but like it when you listen to it. So, anywho, that's my honorable mentions, and now we're about to enter the world of the top fives. Percy, what's number five for you?
My number five is a cover of somebody that's already been mentioned, and it's a cover of Tom Petty's Southern Accent.
Oh, get out of here!
That's one of my
Gracious.
favorite Tom Petty songs, and especially all of us from the South living in this. You could and that opening line
Yeah,
when it says the youngins call it country.
the Yankee
You call
club.
it dumb. Yeah. And why the Yankee? The Mets don't call it dumb. It's just
Or
that's why I think that
oh, so they're not Yankees. Good choice for number five. Great song. Jackson, you got a five slated for it
I
here.
do have a five slated for us, and it kind of shows how wide of a variety of people that he covered on those albums, because there's a lot of stuff there from a lot of different people, a lot of different genres. I mean, we've already mentioned Hank Snow, Chris Cornell. I mean, completely other end of the spectrum, and it's kind of fun mentioning Hank Snow, mentioning the guy I'm about to mention, but this song is God's Gonna Cut You Down. And that's what I had at five. And that pulls from one of my favorite gospel songs my favorite version of it is Elvis, Run On.
Yes.
I love
yes,
it. And
yes.
Hank Snow, Elvis, that kind of made me think of it.
That's
So,
correlation.
yes. But
Good
that
stuff.
song, Run On, by Elvis is one of my favorites. And then this one by Johnny is one of my favorites. But the thing that's interesting to me is that's another one that Johnny took it. Not many lyric changes, but it's much darker.
Yeah.
It feels like to me when Elvis sings that song, you're in a pew, and when Johnny's singing that song, Jesus is back.
Right, right. It's that
it's a
powerful.
much more urgency,
Yeah.
and it's very real, and I really enjoyed that about it. I think it's
Well,
great.
you mentioned, him covering such a wide variety, and he could make any song he wanted to be dark, because he had the voice, the persona, had the pain. He could make anything pretty dark.
It's like the same thing with the Danzig song he covered, 13, on one of the albums. I forget which one it is.
Oh, yeah.
But that song, I feel like when Danzig did it, was another one that was probably leaning more into the darker side of that song. And Johnny, when he's singing, it seems more like a guy coming from a place of faith than like angst.
Yeah, yeah,
It's very weird, but it works.
yeah. He could do it. He could do it. Amazing. Wilkie, what you got?
From American 2, it's a cover, but a whole lot of people covered it. It's the old Don Gibson song, See a Heartbreak.
Oh man, that's a good one. All
He
right,
did a good job on it.
great choice. All right,
lights in the harbor.
my number five, we did. Jackson played in the lobby, and it's just a great song. It's Delia's Gone. And I don't know if Johnny wrote that or not. I think he did.
Well, he recorded that in the '60s,
Yeah,
and it was like a mono version of it. Of course, he changed the lyrics he wasn't breaking out a submachine gun singing.
right, right.
But CMT refused to play that video.
Huh.
Ended up playing on MTV,
Wow.
and that year was Justin Timberlake won the award for best video. And when he got up there and accepted it, he said it was a travesty that he won over Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, he did it. Artists get it. I mean, he's a legend.
Respect to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely is. So, Delia's Gone. A good cover of that is by Wycliffe John. if you've ever seen it. And he did it, and he was asked to come to, I don't know if it was Johnny's birthday party or some celebration on TV. And they asked Wycliffe Jean if he'd come do a Johnny Cash. He was like, man, I don't country. And they pitched a few at him, and he was like, ooh, that Delia's gone because it's got that sub machine. And he absolutely kills it. He does a great job with it. And it's just him and his guitar on stage, and absolutely kills that song. So anyway, that's a good check out if you have a chance. Check that one out. Percy, what you got for number 4?
My number 4 is, it's pretty much already been mentioned, and it's the great Tom Petty and his cover of "I Won't Back Down."
Absolutely.
I mean, it was like we've already said, and I've said this tons of times. Johnny just made it more believable.
It sure did.
I mean, I love you, Tom Petty, but it's like if you look at Tom, you can see somebody just punching him in the mouth,
Right.
and you did that to Johnny.
He's gonna kick your ass.
It's like Eric Kurtz said, "The man in black would have whipped your ass."
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, number 4, Jackson.
One that's already been mentioned, but I think it is one of the saddest and best stories ever told in country music, and it's "I Hung My Head."
Oh wow. Okay, I got some validation on that.
Right, and I think that song for me is one of those that I listen to, and I hear people refer to the new guys. Some you can hear it in some of them, like Coulter Wall and Sturgill and Tyler.
Yeah.
That Southern Gothic type sound in some of their stuff that's more almost like a darker version of stuff that Marty Robbins used to do.
Yeah.
That "I Hung My Head" sounds like a Marty Robbins song, but really dark.
But really dark.
Really dark.
Yeah, and you feel sorry for the kid.
Yeah.
He didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, it's tragic.
It's a total tragedy in that song. Wow. Okay, good choice. Wilkie, what you got?
Delia's gone.
Delia's gone. Everybody's going to dance up that Rose Garden right there tonight. Can't blame anyone. All right. My number 4 has also been mentioned, but I can't believe this is number 1. And it's Rusty Cage, and it's better than Soundgarden's. And yeah, I can't believe that he actually did it. And like we talked about, he didn't want to, but Rick Rubin somehow masterminded him into doing it. And it's just a great turnout. So nitty gritty time. Top 3s. Percy, what's number 3 for you?
Number 3's been mentioned several times, and it's "Delia's Gone."
Delia's gone. I want everybody to know that we may be walking all over each other a little bit tonight, but listen to all of these songs. Listen to every American recording. They're all streaming. You might come up with your own favorites. You will, because there's not a bad song on any of those albums. There's just not.
If you like country like me and Percy do, it's hard to beat a good murder ballad.
Sure. I mean, you guys could have an episode one night, no kid, where you just sit down and play Johnny Cash for 3 hours, and it would be a great thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you just play the American recordings for people.
Well, that's going to be on the Apple playlist
Perfect.
this week, and we'll all be able to enjoy that. We're going to play it at the bar Saturday too, so looking forward to that. I mean, I know,
Also, a
man.
lot of drinks there.
Well, I'm just glad I'm getting this one under my belt. Now, she loves Johnny Cash, but she's been having to listen to Johnny Cash American recordings now for like a month.
Not there's anything wrong with it.
No, there's anything wrong with it.
Recording don't exactly get you fired up all the time, though. So
No, it's not like God. She comes in, it's like, oh, he's listening to me. Number 3.
around. Number 3 for me, another cover. I love the cover. I absolutely love the cover. The original is fantastic as well. They're neck and neck for me, but it's "Personal Jesus."
Oh yeah, that's good.
What a good song. That's another one that I feel like maybe when it was done in the 80s or 90s, whenever it was, late 80s, early 90s. Is that right, Percy?
That was 90s.
Somewhere in there.
Like,
I feel like it may have been more
satanic.
sacrilegious then.
Yeah.
But when Johnny did it, it feels like he's talking more about the real Jesus for people.
It's
More
exactly correct.
more like your own personal Jesus in the sense of having a personal relationship with Jesus rather than some guy being on call to come see you strongly.
So once again, another example where he can turn sort of a bad song into a happy song and a happy song into a sad song.
It's got a talent.
He does. All right. What are y'all laughing at?
I'm sorry. They just said it. There's a guy coming to be with you when you're lonely.
Turn up a little bit. The pitch mode was talking.
Probably little they soon not gonna have.
First, he's gonna pick up what I was putting down. But
All right, what you got, Wilkins?
It's for American 5, and Jackson's done said it, but it's God's going to cut you down.
Oh, that's right. He is going to cut y'all down if y'all keep cutting up like this. All right.
Elvis version was so up tempo. It was like, I think,
How can you be tempo and happy and singing God's going to cut you?
it's like his song was like, you can run on for a long.
And when Johnny sings, it's like, oh shit, I need to run second. You know, it's a completely different thing.
never heard. I was like, yeah,
Oh boy. All right. Yours?
Yes.
97 cents. So it's been mentioned, and he just does a fabulous job with that song. And he does better than Tom Petty, and that's one of my favorite Tom Petty songs. So all been mentioned. So number 2, we're getting down into it.
Number 2 for
Into
me.
it. Yeah, I just made that up.
It's another cover, and I was never really a big fan of the original, but the original was recorded by Roy Clark. It's a song called "I Never Picked Cotton."
great song.
Yeah.
Great song.
Like my brother did, and my sister did, and my mother did, and my daddy died young, working in a coal mine. And he promised himself he was never going to get to pick cotton. And then when he goes into town,